I remember the first night I realized something was wrong with the hospital. It wasn't a dramatic moment. No alarms, no screams, no sudden revelation. Just a small, quiet detail that shouldn't have existed. And once I noticed it, I couldn't stop noticing things. But before I tell you about that night, you need to understand something about working the night shift. Hospitals feel different after midnight. During the day, they're full of movement, doctors rushing through hallways, nurses calling names, families whispering in waiting rooms. But at night, everything slows. The lights dim slightly. The hallways stretch longer. The sounds echo farther than they should. It's like the building itself exhales. I've worked nights for 3 years now. You get used to the silence. You get used to the long stretches where nothing happens. You even get used to the strange things. And hospitals always have strange things. Patients talking in their sleep, monitors beeping in empty rooms, doors closing when no one touched them. Most people chalk it up to exhaustion, but sometimes the quiet feels deliberate, like the building is watching you work. The hospital itself is older than most people realize. From the outside, it looks modern enough. Glass entrance, bright lobby, clean white walls. But once you go past the public floors, you start seeing the age. Long concrete corridors, low ceilings, flickering fluorescent lights that hum constantly. The psychiatric wing is on the fourth floor. That's where I work. Night supervisor. Most of the patients sleep through the night. Medication helps with that. Our job is mostly observation, check rooms, record vitals, make sure no one hurts themselves. The usual things. Nothing dramatic. At least, that's how it's supposed to be. The first strange thing I noticed was the discharge board. Every hospital has one. A list of patients scheduled to leave, transfers, releases, sometimes deaths. It's updated every morning, except on my floor. It never changed. I noticed that during a quiet shift around 2 in the morning. I was sitting at the nurse station flipping through charts when I glanced at the board. Same names, same dates, exactly the same as the night before. At first, I assumed it hadn't been updated yet, but the next night, nothing changed again. Same names, same patients, no discharges, no transfers, no deaths, just the same list. Frozen. At first, I thought it was just an oversight. Maybe someone forgot to update it. Hospitals make mistakes all the time, but then I started paying closer attention. Because once your mind catches something wrong, it starts looking for more. And there were more. Much more. For example, no one ever left the fourth floor. Not once. Not during the day. Not during the night. Not ever. Patients arrived. Ambulances brought them in. Admissions processed them. But I never once saw a patient leave. Not in 3 years. I only realized that after I started thinking about it. I tried to remember a single discharge. A wheelchair being rolled toward the elevator. A goodbye between patient and staff. A family member picking someone up. Nothing. My memory was completely blank. And the more I thought about it, the stranger that felt. Because in any hospital, people leave every day. That thought stayed with me for weeks. I tried ignoring it, convincing myself I was overthinking. Night shifts can do that to you. Lack of sleep makes the brain wander. But then something happened that made ignoring it impossible. Something small, but undeniable. One of the patients approached the nurse station around 3 in the morning. Her name was Eleanor, late 60s, quiet woman, mostly kept to herself. She stood there staring at me for a long time before speaking. Not unusual. Many patients take a while to gather their thoughts. Then she said something that made the back of my neck tighten. Do you know how long I've been here? Her voice was calm, not aggressive, just curious. I checked her chart. 6 weeks, I said. She shook her head slowly. No. She leaned closer across the desk. I've been here for 9 years. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because that's the reflex you develop working in psychiatry. Patients say impossible things all the time. Delusions, false memories, paranoia. You acknowledge them gently, then redirect. But Eleanor didn't react like someone delusional. She just kept looking at me, studying my face. Then she asked a question, one simple question, the kind of question that should have had an easy answer. How long have you worked here? 3 years, I said. She nodded slowly. Then she said something that made the room feel colder. You've told me that before. I felt something shift inside my chest when she said that. A quiet discomfort, like stepping onto a floorboard that suddenly bends under your weight. What do you mean? I asked. Eleanor smiled faintly. The kind of smile someone gives when they're watching someone else slowly understand something. You always say 3 years, she said every time. I checked her chart again. Admission date, diagnosis, medication schedule. Everything looked normal. But when I looked back up, she was still staring at me. Then she said the sentence that changed everything. You forget every morning. I didn't sleep after that shift. I couldn't. Her words stayed in my head all day. You forget every morning. It sounded ridiculous, impossible, but something about the way she said it felt certain, like she wasn't guessing, like she had seen it happen more than once. The next night I went back to work earlier than usual. I checked the discharge board immediately. Same names, same dates, unchanged, just like every other night. Then I checked Eleanor's chart again. 6 weeks. That was the official record, but something about it bothered me now. So I went deeper. Hospital archives, old patient logs, admission history. And that's when I found something strange. Eleanor's name appeared in records from 8 years ago. At first I assumed it was another patient with the same name, but the birth date matched. Exactly. So did the diagnosis. And the room number. Room 417. The same room she was in now. My stomach dropped when I realized something. According to those records, she had never been discharged, not once, not in 9 years. I went to check the patient wing immediately. Something inside me needed to see her again, needed to ask more questions, but when I reached room 417, the bed was empty. Her chart said she was asleep. The monitoring system said she was in the room, but the bed was empty. I searched the entire floor. Hallways, bathrooms, common room. Nothing. No sign of her. Then I heard a voice behind me. You're starting to notice. I turned around. Eleanor was standing at the end of the hallway, watching me, and that's when she said something that made my heart start pounding. You always get to this part eventually. I walked toward her slowly, trying to keep my voice steady. What part? She didn't answer right away. She just studied my face carefully, like she was comparing it to a memory. Then she said something quietly. You're not staff. I felt a cold wave move through my body. That's not funny, I said. Eleanor tilted her head. Do you remember being hired? The question caught me off guard. Of course I remembered, didn't I? I tried to recall the interview, the orientation, my first day, but the memories felt blurry, distant, like recalling a dream instead of a real event. Eleanor stepped closer, her voice softer now. You wake up every morning in room 412. My chest tightened. That's not possible. She nodded slowly. That's what you say every time. I ran to room 412. The door was unlocked. Inside was a hospital bed, a bedside table, and a patient chart. My name was on it. Everything came back slowly after that, not all at once. Just pieces, fragments, like broken glass reflecting a larger picture. I remembered the accident, the car, the rain, the moment everything changed. I remembered the hospital admission, the psychiatric evaluation, the diagnosis, severe trauma, memory reconstruction disorder. Every morning my mind resets itself, rebuilds a reality where I'm still the supervisor, still in control, still part of the staff. But the truth is simpler and far worse. I've been a patient here for 8 years, and every night, I slowly start remembering again. Eleanor wasn't the first to notice. She just stayed long enough to explain it. Most patients leave eventually, transferred, discharged. Some recover, some don't, but I remain. Because every morning, I forget. And tomorrow morning, when I wake up in room 412, I'll walk into the hallway, put on a uniform that doesn't belong to me, sit at the nurse station, and start another shift in a hospital that only exists inside my own mind.